Would you like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Bellisio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Bellisio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Bellisio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at BellisioFoods.com/careers.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Red's Roundup. We have a full house today, and we're going to have two sets of guests, and we're going to talk about dreams and fields and hopes and opportunities today. And football. We're also going to have some football, and we're going to have some good music from a good local entertainer, Charlie Mannering. He is out there all the time. And we're going to talk to Vinton County High School football coach Marcus Games about the upcoming season. And later on in the show, we're going to have University of Rio Grande Director Misty Napier and the University of Rio Grande CFO, Community College CFO, Cherokee Ruby. So we're going to talk about the new MacArthur Center. So we're going to be all Vinton County today, and a little bit of Rio Grande, and a little bit of music. And this man over here that's got the guitar, he is a talented musician. He's opened for some of Nashville's biggest stars, and he's going to share some of his entertainment. You can see him at Scotty's on First a lot of Saturday nights, and at several places around the area. Jackson County Roots, we've seen him there. And Charlie, before you get started with our opening number, you've just met some great entertainers, and tell us a little bit about those that you met over at Scotty's and other places.
I got a chance to meet Doug Stone and Terry McBride, Wade Hayes. There's a lot of upcoming shows here too. I get to open up for Confederate Railroad in October. Super excited about that. So it's a really good gig for me to be able to go up. I get to meet everybody, and it's a really nice thing Scotty does up there for the community. Gives everybody something good to do for a reasonable price. So you can catch me up there just about any time he's got somebody. I'm the opening act. So.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you, he's going to be our opening act. He's going to open for Coach Games, and when we come back, after Charlie sings for us, we're going to talk some Vinton County football. So, Charlie, you can be the opening act for Coach Games today. All right. It's a good tune.
She said it's cold outside, and she hands me my raincoat. She's always worried about things like that. She said it's all gonna end, might as well be my fault. She only sleeps when it's raining, and she screams. Then her voice is straining. She said, baby, it's 3 a.m. I must be lonely. She said, baby, yeah, I can't help but be scared of it all. Sometimes rain's gonna wash away, I believe it. She got this little bit of something, God is better than nothing. And in a color portrait world, she believes that she's got it all. She swear that moon don't hang quite as high as it used to. And she only sleeps when it's raining. Now she screams. help but be scared of it all. Sometimes rain's gonna wash away, I believe. She believes that life's not made up of all that we're used to. The clock on the wall, it's been stuck at 3 for days and days. And she believes that happiness is a mat that sits on your doorway. But when outside and it stopped raining, yeah. It's 3 a.m. I must be lonely. She said, baby, yeah. And I can't help but be scared of it all. Sometimes rain's gonna wash away, I believe.
All right, that's the great sounds of Charlie Bannering there, and starting off our show, and we're going to have a lot to talk about. It's fall, or we're getting close to fall. I guess fall used to be September, but now fall is August. And with August comes football, and this man that's at the helm of the Vinton County Vikings. And, Coach, you come back. You inherited the program. You've been a long-time assistant coach. You certainly know Vinton County High for being the wrestling coach. What was it like for you to take over the program, and what are you seeing from your first team that you're going to be the helm of?
Well, first of all, that was amazing. I tell you what, Matchbox 20 better watch out. And I think, I believe I saw you. Did you open up for Wade Jennings?
Wade, yeah.
That's where it was. Yeah, he's amazing. Anyway, all right,
good.
back to football. I
Very
tell
good.
you what. So in terms of transition, it's been relatively smooth. You know, I've been coaching football at Vinton County for a long time, and just always just so thankful the opportunities that Vinton County's provided myself and my family an opportunity to coach and that type of thing. And you know, we graduated 18 seniors last year. Off a great football team. And so, you know, we're in transition. We're going to be a little bit younger. Nothing wrong with that. We also have, you know, a smaller group of seniors, but they're a good group, you know, and I think you have some people written down here that we're going to talk about that I'm excited to talk about, some of the leaders of our team. So, you know, we're excited. You know, it's about to get really serious next week. And then August 1st, it's here. August 10th, we're over at Paint Valley scrimmaging, and before you know it, we got to go take on those dang tanks over at Uniota. So.
Coach, let's talk about some of the guys that we are going. One man that you got some dependable guys. Now I know we lost a lot last year. We lost 17 seniors, and usually that means disaster, but not in this case. Your cupboard's full from bare. You got some very talented kids. And including from that top-notch defense we had last year. Wasn't the defense amazing last year?
Yeah, and you know, Greg Phillips came in and, you know, helped install a 3-3 stack last year that really did well versus kind of schedule. You know, it's Southeast Ohio football is different now. I mean, you know, most teams are running spread, and so, you know, the traditional, you know, 5 fronts and traditional 4 fronts are, you know, no longer real appropriate for the schedules you're playing. So, yeah, and we had a great defense last year, set school records. Man, we've got a couple people back from that defense, and then we're going to be introducing some new young guys to it.
Let's talk about one of the big linebackers and pass rushers, Luke Dimmel, being one. And Luke not only had a big year, he also had a big fumble recovery against Max, winning it in the end zone. And he puts a lot of pressure on the quarterback. We'll talk a little bit about Luke. You bring Luke's picture up there, but talk a little bit about Luke and what he does.
Yeah, so Luke's a classic example. I mean, you know, and people come to the games, you know, they see sort of the benefits of who Luke is as an individual and the type of work he puts in after Friday night and before the next Friday night in the summer and the winter and the type of human being is. those kind of guys, good things happen on a football field for them, because the kind of way they live their lives, their consistent work ethic, and their intensity. And so, fans get to see kind of, the payoff of kind of person he is. But he's just a high-quality guy, great football player, very athletic, defensive lineman, and, just a true natural leader. He's kind of guy that when he walks in the locker room, I always pull him in the office because he's got his finger on the pulse of what's going on, and he lets me know and helps evaluate me, and I embrace that, and I welcome that from Luke because it's just an honor and pleasure to be able to be his coach.
And him being big don't hurt either, does it, Coach?
No, and he's I always tell guys, it's easy to be big. Now, be a big guy that can move, that's dangerous.
Then you got a couple of dependable guys that can do almost anything for you. One of them's Clayton Lester. He can return kicks, be a running back, receiver. I mean, you talk about a dependable kid. Clayton can do about everything for you.
No, Clayton's hard-nosed, great football player, and he's our leader on defense. He's our free safety. He knows our defense, and so he's kind of that stability. Our defense feels good when Clayton out there, and he's looking over, make sure people are lined up. And then on offense, he can hurt you. I mean, he can run the ball, he can catch the ball. He's got amazingly soft hands. He's kind of like a defense. It's kind of like whack-a-mole. You never know where he's going to be, and we like it that way because he's going to be in one position one play, another position the other play, and we're going to throw to him. He's going to run the ball, and he's tough kid, man. He's kind of the quintessential kind of Vinton County guy. So,
and there's one other kid you can use for almost anything. He'll be one of your running backs, but you could put him out at receiver. And he also, his most dangerous thing might be returning kicks. I think he returned one for a touchdown. Returned a punt for a touchdown. What about Lane Hayburn? You talk about another dependable kid that you have.
Yeah, Lane, I mean, where do you start with Lane? One of the most explosive players I've ever been around. I mean, Lane's burst from 0 to 10 yards, it doesn't get much better. And then he's got a kind of a level of toughness and intensity about him. You get hit by Lane Hayburn, you're going to remember it for a while. And people don't realize how well he catches the ball. They realized it last year, He caught a lot of long balls for us, and this year he's going to be kind of transitioning more to kind of our tailback, and so, he's getting geared up, ready for that. But he's amazingly explosive, intense, strong guy, and he's extremely competitive. So we're lucky to have him.
I know the one thing every coach kind of not dreads, but every coach is I guess you could have the same quarterback forever, but that's not the way football works. You do have a new quarterback this year, but he did get some experience at the end of the year. Could you talk about your QB?
Yeah, we're fortunate. We have two young quarterbacks, and Jace Moore, who's going to be a sophomore. He got some real valuable experience in our playoff game. And, Jace is a quarterback. He walks, talks, thinks. He probably knows the offense better than some of us coaches. He loves to learn about how to read defenses. And he's only a sophomore. So, it's the best and the worst. And the best thing about him is only a sophomore. The worst thing about him is a sophomore, And so experience is going to make him be a great quarterback. And then we've got a young freshman coming in who is a great quarterback also, young guy named Cole Ousley. And so it's really neat to have two young quarterbacks, kind of pushing on each other and that type of thing. But we're fortunate in the quarterback department right now.
And, last year, one thing that you had some big losses, like I said, Garrett Brown being one of, and just you lost a lot, and also Matt Hembry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But remember the play at Meg's? This was one of the most remarkable plays I ever saw in football. A ball was tipped 4 times in the end zone between Clayton and Matt Hembry, and Matt Hembry catches it and runs 103 yards. I mean, you would think Meg's would have had time to reorganize. Isn't it amazing the ball was in the air that long and was returned that far?
No, but that's just consistent intensity and staying focused, and that's what that group had last year. That group of seniors last year had great focus, great work ethic, and we've got a guy, that's going to be a senior, Brandon Matson, who he's been playing a lot of defense for us last 3 years. He's going to kind of step in to kind of that slot role a lot for us, and kind of that Matt Hembry role that we kind of carved out, and you're gonna hear about him. So you hear people talk about B Matt. That's who B Matt is. So in Madison. So
well, Matt was. I want to talk about the kids on the team now, but just a word about Matt. Out of all the kids that I ever covered on all these years, Matt was one of the most dependable kids I've ever seen. He could do anything for you.
Yeah.
He'd get an interception. He'd run the ball for 20 yards, then he'd catch a pass, then he'd make a big tackle. He'd run back kickoffs. He could do anything.
No, I think, sometimes you hear a lot about, kids these days and parents these days. And I tell you, Matt Hembry and, a lot of kids that we have at Vinton County are proof that there's great kids out there who have great families and great parents. And as coaches, sometimes we're the biggest beneficiaries. And, especially a guy like Matt Hembry. There's not much better. So.
No. But one thing about Coach Games, I know Coach Games is not only a football coach, but he's a Division I player, and he played at Ohio University, and he was drafted by, you said Western Michigan? Was it Western Michigan or Central Michigan that originally drafted?
Oh, Michigan State.
Michigan State.
Yeah.
But he ended up going to OU, and what's it like playing Division I football, and how does that help you with the kids?
Back in '89 through '94, so I still remember a little bit, but kind of the level of commitment, the level of preparation. If a kid wants that, you can really talk to him about it and kind of talk about what it is like day to day, because those D1 or college football players, their days in the summer are starting at 6 a.m. and they're not in until 11 at night, and it's 3-4 practices, 4 or 5 meetings a day, and so you can kind of talk to them about that, and in a real kind of way. And so I kind of lean on that and, sometimes tell old stories and that, what I can remember, but, so yeah, just that experience being able, and kids, student athletes and young people, they're smart. They know if you're real or you're phony. And so having that experience gives you, kind of a authenticity and kind of a realness.
And the playing on, how's the conference shaping up? Have you looked around and see?
I think, last year it kind of came down to us in Nelsonville, and I think everybody thought that's the way it was going to be. And, we were fortunate to get it done over there in Nelsonville. It was a heck of a night. I think this year there's going to be more parity. I think, Athens is going to they've got a real good senior class. Wellston's going to be much improved. Nelsonville's Nelsonville. They're going to be tough and
just kind of reload.
Yeah, and it's, I always try to. I'm respectful of Nelsonville. Not a big fan, but I'm respectful to them. But so they'll be Nelsonville, and then I think River Valley and Alexander they're going to be better too. So we got our hands full, and then Meg's. Meg's, their head coach. I coached with him in Vinton County, and Coach Yates down there. I'm sure he's getting things going the right way down there for the Marauders. So,
and I want to talk to you about this and set up. We want to set up bringing the ladies over. We're gonna transition with the weather when we're ready, Hayden. So, but Coach, you understand kids in a different way than maybe most coaches. Being your background and I think this is important for our fans and for our parents. You're much more than a football coach. You're a LSW, licensed social worker. That's what your background's in. And how do you think that's going to help you with the kids and their situations?
Yeah, I think it helps me understand that football is just one facet of their life, and understanding that sometimes, guy having a bad day on the practice field, maybe it's not that he's not into football or he's mad at the coach, but he's got other stuff going on. And I think, our administration at Vinton County and our school board expects us to take an approach of it's not just about athletics. They expect us to take an approach where we're trying to develop young people, to be high quality adults and achieve their dreams as adults, and not just our interest of football or whatever sport that is. And so I think my background allows me to kind of take a more holistic approach and maybe, be able to link young people up with resources or, check in with them to make sure everything off the field's going well.
Okay, and before we bring the ladies over, we're going to have Charlie tune up
Here we go.
for a classic country song.
There we go.
And before we get into talking to the ladies and about Elvira Grand, another Field of Dreams, and they're very excited about that. We're going to talk about that beautiful new MacArthur Center that's coming. But Coach, before you go, what do you want to say to Viking Nations, all the followers out there, and you can we're going to have the games on the 98.7 and the Total Media Radio app, and we're going to do some streaming this year. And so I don't know all the details on that yet, but I know there's going to be more Benton County football coverage than ever. So what do you want to say to Viking Nation?
Hey, we're counting down the days. We have one of the greatest fan base Southeast Ohio. We'll be over there at Uniota on the 23rd, and we'll look up there and we'll be jam-packed in those visitor seats. And we hope to honor that fan base with the way we play. And me, Red, we're gonna be in condition. We're gonna be aggressive, and we're gonna come after you. So and then we're gonna shake your hand after the game. But those 48 minutes, we're gonna get after you. So.
Okay, we're going to hear some more from Charlie, and then we're going to have the weather, and then we're going to bring in Rio Grande. We're going to talk some Rio Grande expansion and Rio Grande dreams when we come back. And Charlie, how about playing a good classic country selection? Okay, you guys can come on over after he's taken. Thank you. Okay, you can take a seat over there. Okay.
When the sun goes down on my side of town, there's a lonesome feeling running through my door, and the whole world turns blue. There's a rundown bar across the railroad track, got a table for two way in the back, where I sit alone. And I think of losing you. I spend most every night beneath the light of a neon moon. And if you lose your one and only, there's always room here for the lonely. Watching broken dream dancing out of the beams of a neon moon. Two young lovers run wild and free. Close my eyes, sometimes see you in the shadows of the smoke-filled room. No telling how many tears I've sat here and cried, how many lies I've sat here and lied, telling my old heart she'll be back one day. I spend most every night beneath the light of a neon moon. And if you lose your one and only, there's always room here for the lonely. Watching broken dreams dancing out of the beams of the neon moon. Jukebox plays on, drink by drink. Words to every sad song seem to say what I think. It's hurting inside of me. It ain't gonna end. But I spend most every night beneath the light of a neon moon. And if you lose your one Now watch them broken dreams dance in and out of the beams of a neon moon.
All right, thank you. Isn't he talented, ladies?
Oh, this is a good day of work.
Yeah, it is a good day at work. Anytime Charlie's around, we got some good entertainment. And I tell you, Coach Gaines, we got a lot of good sports activity. And then we're going to talk about Rio Grande, and we got it's going to be exciting in MacArthur. And let's go back to the day when Governor DeWine came. And how about that? Can you guys comment on the day when him and Director John Kerry delivered the money to Rio Grande to build this center?
Well, that was a beautiful day, Red. That was a beautiful day. I think it was
You guys can okay, that way. Go ahead.
It was just a day that I think that we could actually celebrate the work that Rio has brought to the Vinton County community, and just shown that with commitment and patience and just really reaching out to our community, that we could ultimately deliver a great opportunity with Rio's presence there. So we appreciate the governor getting behind that project and that idea. Has been the field of dreams, but we're about to see dreams really come reality.
Cherokee, welcome. And tell us about this process. President Ryan Smith got on the phone with the governor and said, "Hey, I got something for Vinton County."
He did. We were very lucky when we got Ryan at Rio, and his ties both to the community and to the state as a whole. So when he called Governor DeWine and told him about this project, and it was a project that was standing long before he or I came to Rio. So it is very nice to see it to finally come to fruition, and he had the people in place that he knew would support it and have the same initiative and agenda that we have, making our communities stronger and bringing education to the places that can't always travel to it. So I'm excited about the MacArthur project. I'm excited about the partners in the project and being able to bring things to Vinton County that wasn't there previously.
One of the shining parts of that, we all know what it's going to do for education, and we're going to talk about that in a moment, but the banquet area came as a surprise. Where did that concept come from?
So at our Meg Center, we have a small banquet area that we have. It's 3 classrooms that can the walls kind of move out to be one large area and a serving area. It is smaller than the Vinton County Event Center, but one of the things we attempt to do with our board enjoys going to each of the districts that we serve. Around Christmas time, we have a meeting that we attempt to have in our local areas, and we rotate those between each district that we serve. And finding a space in Vinton County so that we can spend our time there was a little bit difficult, challenging. So this piece of it, knowing that there isn't a large or even a small assortment of areas that you can do that, to where we can have food or meetings or things that would hold a large enough amount of the community and be able to celebrate. It seemed like it's a need, and we had that opportunity to fill it to where we can have classrooms and have different size meetings available. By we're going to have actually 6 classrooms that the walls will all be able to move and create a space that will hold more than 200 people in an event space. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous when it's done. The designers at Triad have really put a lot of effort into this, and it can be to where we only open 2 and have food. So baby showers, weddings, community meetings where you get the Benton County School Board or the commissioners, or just regular government meetings can still be held in 2 of the rooms that become 1, or 4 that become 1, or all 6 if it's a really large meeting and we get football team in there.
There you go,
kind of
Coach.
rally. But some area for the community to be able to use for all sorts of different events, and it's just one of the things that small towns don't typically have access to. And it's nice that that's going to be a dual use, so it's not just going to be empty space or dead space when it's not needed.
One thing that Misty's done, and I know she's proud of this, she's made a connection with a high school, and a big part of that was the Spanish program. She traveled to Columbus to speak to that for a statewide audience, and the Spanish program, we was talking about this before we went on. What an important investment that Rio Grants made to Benton County, and to be recognized for it. Tell us about you going to Columbus and what that was like, speaking before a statewide audience.
Oh, well, it was very exciting, Red. It was exciting to really showcase. I think it's more than just showing the Spanish program in itself, which I would be remiss if I didn't recognize Senora Hildy Smith, who was the champion of that at Benton County High School. But what it really showcased to me, and the opportunity that made me so proud, was showing that great ideas can really happen with a partnership and with people working together to align your skill set and deliver that, with Benton County and Rio being able to be the forefront of showing that it's unmatched, really. We have become the leader in the state, like a model in the state for that actual program for the Seal of Biliteracy. And Rio has already partnered with additional schools throughout the state, not just in southeastern Ohio, as a product of that partnership. So, much like Coach Games was saying earlier, a lot of great things happen in Benton County. We have to be creative and think outside of the box. That's how we get things done. But I think as a bypart of that, we are sowing the idea and the mindset that just because you don't see it doesn't mean it can't be done. And so I love being a part of that. It's good energy. It's good energy all the way around for professionalism, but also for the children, the youth, and for the county and community at large.
And one thing that President Smith talked about, and I'd like you both to speak on this. President Smith said that this building is going to be very meaningful to not only local employers, but those in Ross County and Columbus. Certainly Spanish would fit in Columbus very well, but President Smith said that the impact of this to regional employers is going to be huge, and certainly our kids. And when you said you can't see it, a lot of our kids, the Spanish program might not mean much locally, but certainly in Columbus, and you also said on the internet with the home-based business, which has been identified as important in Benton County tourism and Benton County development, that could really help. So what's that new building's going to do regionally? I'd like you both to comment on that.
Well, to say what it's going to do, it's hard to really say, because I am a person that kind of sees big picture, and
Misty has no limits.
I'm definitely a big picture person. So I think the potential is exponential, but I think when we're really scaling that back and looking at that in a realistic way of where we're going to start, we are going to be training the workforce for tomorrow, right? And we have always kind of been restricted as to what is in our area. And in Benton County, that workforce, it's a challenge. So many of the residents of Benton County are used to traveling a large distance, going to Chillicothe, going to Columbus, some going to West Virginia. We're used to that. And so I think while we are far away from Intel that's happening in Columbus, we're not that far for what our community is used to. So with the programs that we will be able to deliver, once we really hone that and identify the areas of focus with that programming, I think we're really going to try to hit the market as to what that trade's going to look like and what the demand's going to be. And not only what's in Columbus, but we anticipate there to be and people that will be leaving, like Fairfield County, Lancaster, Ross, all of those to fill the Intel jobs. There's going to be a backfill that's going to be necessary. So we are hopeful that we will be able to identify all of those different areas and see where we really want to make those investments to prepare that workforce. And President Smith is, we have some amazing people. I have an amazing job that I get to work with great people all the way around. He is also unmatched. I mean, he is a leader that really can see that big picture, but pull that back and try to find the people that can really make those small details come together. He's going to be, I'm sure, very interested in trying to identify those trends. So, and we're along for a great ride.
Benton County, the people there are much like Misty with No Limits, and there is such a strong community and love. It speaks volumes that the state is using Benton County's Spanish for the seal of biliteracy, when if anyone was just visiting, you wouldn't imagine that there was a single Spanish-speaking inhabitant in southern Ohio. So the fact that not only do we have it, but we are now the program that the state is using in all of the other places, including Columbus, that has a large population of Hispanic and Spanish-speaking individuals, and just a large population in general. So when you can bring resources to people that know how to use them and to use all the resources that they've had available to them, to not just the extent that a regular day-to-day use would be, but they can stretch that. And it really speaks to our area and the region and just Appalachia as a whole. We make the most of everything that we have, and you're not going to find more caring, dedicated, or outside of the box thinking than you're going to find in our small towns. And when you bring $11.8 million to a area to have a up-to-date facility, have health care, have education to build, we're not looking to leave. We're looking to bring more of those people with us and to keep and grow the people that we have as well, so that we can make everywhere not just as good as we are, but better and better than those areas that have more people as a resource.
The one thing I want to focus on with Misty, and I want to get a little bit more specific.
Of course you do, Dad. Of course you do.
But Misty, we have a very fast changing Ross County that's impacting Benton County. And for our workforce, a changing and growing Ross County that's becoming almost an exurb of Columbus. What's that going to mean? Our kids is going to find a lot of different opportunities just in Ross County alone. That's going to open up some possibilities for Rio, just what Ross County's, how fast it's growing. No.
So are you trying to ask me what we're going to offer there? Is that what you're trying to ask me,
no, not so
Red?
much, but I'm just trying to get you to make a general comment about Ross County's growing so fast. There's going to be some opportunities for our kids.
Oh, of course. There's going to be a demand for employment for Benton County residents that really hasn't existed as much. We have a lot of people that travel to Chillicothe on a daily basis. Adena is the hospital is one, and Kenworth.
I'm sorry, I'm going to cut her off and interrupt because Ross County's not that far, and they can travel to Vinton County real easy down 52,
Yeah.
and they can come to us and bring their
sure,
ideas
it's some kids
and
from
their
Southern.
businesses, and we can teach them how to be entrepreneurs and start businesses in Vinton County between, and 52 can be just as populated, and then we can also be a suburb of Ross County.
That'd be nice.
That was a good way to go,
She does
Cherokee.
think outside the box.
That we don't have to go there. We're
take-
gonna bring the best here.
You want to help coach games this fall? He'd help. You can could give him some new plays there, thinking outside the box.
Listen, Cherokee's pretty amazing. She's been a big cheerleader of Vinton County, so we are very appreciative of her.
But things like, there's I think a new automotive plant coming to Washington Courthouse area. I think they're building it now, maybe, and obviously the Walmart DC center out there. There's some new opportunities coming to Southern Ohio that we haven't had before. And when you talk about growth in Vinton County, you're talking about tourism, and that's certainly, I'm sure that Wild Grand can help with the tourism, and certainly the CVB. I'm sure that they'll lean on Rio for ideas, and we can have a lot of. You can provide businesses with so much information about how to start a business, and there's so much that goes into it.
Oh, absolutely. And I think our new facility is going to allow us to facilitate that on a grander scale. I mean, I think we do a good job of that in all of our locations at the academic centers as well as main campus. But I think with the upgrades that Rio is investing in our small communities, we are going to be able to take that to a new level.
Well, certainly that property out there has been. It's so special. When the high school came there in 2000, and now you guys, Campbell's Market, came at a time when the county desperately needed a grocery store. It's going to be one of your neighbors right across from. So I know to President Smith, that property's very special. He helped get Campbell's.
Yes, when he was serving as state representative, he was very active in that role, in the role of trying to get that funded and facilitated in our community. So, again, we can't really say enough how lucky we are to have his leadership.
Cherokee, are we going to see some bulldozers out there soon, we hope?
Yes, very soon. Actually, on Monday morning, we start our page turn, and we're going to go through every detail of the bid package. So that will happen on Monday. And once all of those I's are dotted and T's are crossed, it's going to go out for bid. It'll be posted the mandated amount of days before we have the bid opening. And we're hoping, if all goes well, that October we should see some bulldozers
Well, I
out there
tell you,
clearing,
that's.
and I won't have to pay for mowing.
Yeah, there you go. See, that's a double win for Wild Grand.
Right.
Not paying that mowing bill.
About it.
I'll tell you, it's going to be a wonderful day out there, and you're going to have a groundbreaking, I hope, or hopefully maybe a groundbreaking. Have you talked about that possibility?
I'm sure that there will be an event. I haven't. All of the projects we've had so far, we've had one, so I don't doubt at all that there will be one. Ryan will absolutely be planning those pieces, I'm sure. Right now, my focus is those contracts and making sure that we are complying with all of the the Ohio Revised Code and little things of, utilities and zoning and those pieces. You didn't get the fund group, you got part of it, and then you got money and law. So
I understand.
I will show up for the event. I will have no part of the party process except for giving them a budget to try to stay within.
So you have two very opposite sides of the spectrum sitting with you, Red. I am big idea, and I could just see everything happening. It's very real to me. And then I have to call Cherokee, and Cherokee is
then I
very
say,
detailed.
This is how this happens. Do you have any of these things?
We need to, well, it's a wonderful thing for Benton County. And it wouldn't be right. And we're going to hear from Charlie again in a minute. And then we're going to get a final word in from Coach Games here in a moment, too, about all the summer stuff that's been going on. So we're going to bring him back. And we'll have Charlie in just a minute, like we said. But a final thing, we wouldn't be Wee Morris if we didn't say something about Rick Brooks. Rick Brooks helped bring Rio Grande there, the superintendent up there. And what about a supporter he's been to Rio Grande and helped getting all this process together, the good link you have with the schools?
So Superintendent Rick Brooks has been very supportive with our collaboration. I know when he and I first had conversations about trying to develop the CCP program and really increasing what that looked like in Vinton County, he was very open to it, very open and supportive. And when I started, it's been several years ago, we had a very small population, less than 10 students in the district, to my knowledge, were participating in College Credit Plus at that time. And we have grown exponentially to around 100 students. I think I had 101 applicants, which that didn't come through me directly, that went through our CCP coordinator, but through Vinton County School alone. That's huge. That is huge. And so that just speaks volumes to how Superintendent Brooks encourages the growth and opportunity for our high school students. And just really, he's a good in-between. He can see a broad picture. He can see the big picture, but understands the details. But we have been very successful in trying to collaborate and see where we can kind of marry all of the different ideas and really strengthen what these high school students are coming out with credentials, with associate degrees, with their general education courses being completed, and really keeping them in track for athletics and all of the different things. He's been phenomenal to work with.
Okay, we thank you ladies so much for making that Field of Dreams possible. Thanks to Governor. And before you go, we just can't let you go without a quick word about the man that picks up the bat for Vinton County every time, John Carey, the director of the Governor's Office of Appalachia. What about Mr. Carey? How he's been so good to us.
He's been a phenomenal support also. I just can't say enough. That's one thing about Vinton County. We know 100% that individually we cannot achieve near what we can if we can collectively come to the table. And John Carey has been a great resource for us as well, recognizing the potential that exists and the skill set and the talent that is already there, and just trying to get behind us with resources. And he was there that day as well, just cheering us on. And
if you got a picture of John Carey there, he's had a big thumbs up. And if he can find that.
He hears of opportunities that he knows that will work in our areas.
There he is.
Yes.
Let us know
Yeah.
that they're coming available, and
He comes to us, yes, just like Cherokee said. And there was a really great comment that was made that day. And actually, I believe it was Lydia Mihalik, with the Director of Department of Development, said this is a good project and a good example of when passion meets purpose. And that really is kind of what I feel like this whole thing has exemplified and been a good indicator of passion meeting purpose in this community.
All right. Well, thank you very
sure
Go ahead.
her in the sign. Please tell me you have that photo
What's that?
of Misty in the sign.
Oh, yes. Yes. How about that?
He's
That
thinking
wasn't
the
I
other
was
one.
talking about, but that one works.
That one, that's going to be a whole different retail complex. The Conway family has developed that. Rio Grande's there, Campbell's is there, Goodwill. What a nice Goodwill you're going to have for a neighbor. That's the nicest Goodwill I've ever seen.
Listen, Red, Vinton County's not messing around.
No.
Everything that we're getting behind, Rio is supporting. Everything is going to be state of the art in Vinton County.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. It's beautiful. The library expansion, and they're going to tear down that property behind the old hardware store. Vinton County is coming, and the new bank. How about that?
Beautiful. The bank is beautiful.
So we're coming straight up, and it's straight aces. Well, we are going to hear another tune from Charlie, and then we're going to let Coach Gaines get you all revved up for Viking football with a couple final comments before we close out. Charlie, how about picking one more here, getting us going, and we'll bring Coach Gaines back, and we'll get you revved up for Vinton County football.
Hey, Cherokee, this is a pretty great day of work, isn't it?
I have a lot more work to do.
I know, but we get to listen to music. And
Oh, I'm thoroughly enjoying that part.
So I
We
don't
don't get
know.
I think you should come and play in my office.
Okay, Coach Gaines, what's out again? Coach Gaines, come back over.
Yeah,
I don't know if he would ever remember it, but we were talking about John Kerry, and when I was I may have been 16 years old, and they did an article on me at school for playing music. We made a CD and sold it, and it was pretty neat. And he's riding through the Ahilco parade on the back of a convertible and looks over at me standing on the sidewalk and says, "I read your article in the paper. Congratulations, very good job." I'm 40 years old now, and I remember that just like it was yesterday. So he's always been just a super nice guy that speaks to you everywhere he sees you. And I'll never forget that because that was huge to me, a 16-year-old kid.
Did I write
Public
that,
figure.
or did I write the story, or was it someone else? Can you remember?
I have no idea. That's been a long time ago.
Okay.
Long time ago.
I always like to write about the local musicians, so it could have been me. It might not have been, but I'm glad of that because I think you got to encourage. Look what an encouragement
Hey, the
did.
music scene's where it's at right now. There's a ton of people coming out. Like my shows have gotten bigger. The amount of people that come out and watch me has gotten bigger now. It's the acoustic thing, thank God, has taken off again, and people are starting to really enjoy going to the smaller shows. And plus, it's a good second income for my wife and I and our kids. And
Yeah, and good entertainment for the community. So we're going to turn Charlie loose, and then we're going to find out. We're going to give you one more shout out for Viking football, and we're also going to preview our big football show that we have on Friday nights when we come back. So if you'd fire one up, Mr. Charlie, we'd appreciate it.
all right.
All right.
I want to thank you very much for having me here today. I really appreciate it. This is one you're probably not going to know. I don't ever play songs that I wrote, so I'm going to play this one real quick. And then, so thank you.
Okay.
Today I took a walk outside. Things aren't as pretty when you're gone. Your car's not parked out in my drive. Keep praying that you come back, I know you won't. And I don't know why I didn't try to never let you say goodbye. Now you're gone and I'm alone. Everything I can do not to cry. I patiently wait here by my phone. And everything inside me's about to die. 'Cause I don't know why I didn't try to never let you say goodbye. Today I took a walk outside. Things aren't as pretty when you're gone.
All right.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, Charlie. Thank you very much. And I tell you, we got entertained. We learned a lot, and we want to preview something because we're going to be hearing from Coach Gaines a lot because football season's coming up, and we have a show, a network show. On our new we picked up several stations in the Waverly area, the Athens area, the Gallipolis area. Now we have a regional football show from 5 to 12. Yeah, 5 to 12. That's right, 5 to midnight. And it's kind of like a network type thing. We'll be on from 5 to 7. Then we'll break away for a, quote, local game. And then as the game's in, they'll come back to the network. And Coach Games will be calling in, we hope. We hope, Coach, you'll be calling in after the games. Carl Blaylock at one of our Athens stations coordinates this for us. And they host it, and it's a wonderful show. It's kind of an interest-based program. Football is a big interest. Coach, what do you think regional programs like that do for the high schools to get a chance to be heard all over the region here in Southern Ohio?
Oh, I think it's great. I mean, a lot of towns in Southeast Ohio, Friday night at 7 o'clock, town shuts down, and it's one of the major community events. And today's age of football, and I'm an older guy, and I'm, but social media exposure, young people love that stuff, and so I'm trying to catch up. I'm Instagramming and Facebooking and all that kind of stuff, these days. But stuff like that regional show, that's just outstanding. Kids love it. Coaches love to talk football, and parents love hearing about how their kids done and all that kind of thing. So, and Carl's actually been out to our place and been talking to us. So we're pumped to be a part of it, and win or loss, we'll call it. So.
And Coach, another thing about technology, that Total Media app. You don't have to live in Benton County to listen to the Vikings anymore. You can listen to them on 98.7 all over the country, all over the world. We have a lot of out-of-state listeners. What about gives you a little slice of home on Friday nights if you're living somewhere else and you tune in on the app? What do you think it means to listen to the hometown football game when you live in England or Mississippi or California?
We're all pretty connected somehow, across the country and internationally, and with all the stuff that Ryo's doing, we got people that are pretty successful move out of the region, and they need access to Viking sports, and especially Viking football on Friday night. So it's awesome.
Yeah, and tune in to Bob and Jeff. We're going to have some. Our streaming capabilities are growing, and we're going to just have Coach Games on a lot. He's very good to give us his time, and I know he's got 2 head coaching jobs now, so. His time is, and he works, the man just works around the clock. So if you need a good man, I'll tell you, Coach Games, he's your guy. He's a busy man. But just a quick update about your summer conditioning. How are the guys, what's the numbers look like, and how is everybody healthy, and a little bit about that?
Pretty well in health, and, summertime, you're managing vacations, Vinton County Fair, and that type of thing, and so all that stuff's pretty much winding down, and we've had 40 to 50 kids coming in, and we're excited. Next week, and then the following week everything becomes mandatory, and now you're in for the stretch run, and August 23rd is going to be here real quick.
And if you haven't been to the Benton County High School football field, it's a little bit different look. The parking lot's been paved. Doesn't it look nice, Coach?
It looks real nice, and then I think happened like 3 or 4 years ago that area. Now we have vehicles that pull up on the one end and really gives a cool feel on a Friday night. It's like we'll be out there at 4 o'clock walking through, and there's people grilling out up there on the hill, and it's a great environment, and hopefully we can honor that environment with the way we play.
Well, the Vikings, it's always been said that MacArthur's a hard place to go win. That you got the most amazing 12th man. Aren't those fans great?
Yeah, we have amazing fans, and they're great to support us, and they also have expectations, which that's the way it should be. So can't wait.
Well, if you ladies would come over here, we're going to close the show, and we're going to introduce everybody. Thank them so much for coming. And we'll let them get in a final word.
The best part of the show didn't come over.
Exactly.
But No, but we want to thank everybody. Come on over. Charlie, you don't have to bring your guitar. We just want to introduce everybody and say thanks so much. First of all, thank you to Charlie Mannering. He played some great tunes for us. And Charlie, we always do this with the entertainers. How do they book you if someone wants to book you?
Facebook's probably the easiest place to get a hold of me. Just Facebook Messenger, send me a message. I'll play anywhere. I've played all kinds of different things. So I'll go anywhere.
Thank you so much for coming today. And our two ladies from Rio Grande, I'll tell you, they made the dreams come true. And you know, how about a final word about our big groundbreaking and our big new building coming?
We hope to have classes in the fall 25 in Benton County, so it's coming.
Misty?
It's going to be a great day, Red. It's definitely coming. I know it's been a long time waiting, but it's worth the wait.
Yeah, that sign's been out there a long time. It's about time to take it
There's
down.
a new sign out there, Red, and it has a date on there. It says coming fall of 25.
Yeah.
So let's look at the new sign.
Yeah, that old sign, the proposed site, was out there a long time. It's gone now. It's there. That sign outlived its welcome. And Coach Games, it's time. The whistle's about to blow for the football team.
There you go. We're headed over to Ross County on 23rd. So.
Okay, be there and be over at Unioto for that first game for Coach Games as at the helm of the program. So Viking fans and 98.7 and the Total Media Radio app will be there. And the Telegram will be there with pictures. So it's going to be a big night in Ross County for the Vikings opener. Okay, we thank everybody for coming. This has been Red Thompson on Red's Roundup. And go Benton County. Good things are all right.